All right. Hello, everybody. It's Auret here from Essetino Artists. Welcome to the live stream. We've been doing live streams daily at 6 p.m. PST called the Quarantine Life episodes. But today we decided to bring a special guest on to talk to you about Etsy and print on demand. So in today's live stream, we're talking to Fernando Sustaita. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That's pretty close.
I get this all the time with my name too.
Yeah, it's a Spanish last name, so it's Sustaita, but people call it Sustaita, Sustaita, Stipa. So don't worry about it.
We'll go with Sustaita.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
So Fernando, you've been able to consistently generate an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month doing this for the past 2 years by selling print on demand on Etsy. And we've known each other for a few years back, like when we were doing merch by Amazon, and I believe we had you as well as a guest on our channel, and vice versa. So you might have seen Fernando before here. And so today we'll get his thoughts on selling on Etsy in 2020, all the stuff that's happening right now, especially during these times. And we're going to look at this whole Etsy print on demand thing and how it works. So if you have any questions at all during this entire thing, please leave them in the comments and we'll get to them. We want to make sure to answer those for you. And Fernando, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And yes, you have actually been on my show in the past, and I have been in yours. So yeah, we have known each other for quite a bit. Actually, you guys were collaborators on my very first course, which I was just looking at my records. It was 2017, so it's around this time is when I actually launched the Master in Print on Demand course, and it's time's flying. So we started talking around 2016 when merch was very still in the infancy, when people still believed that it was the gold rush and that it was going to make a lot of millionaires. So far, I don't know one, but but yeah, it's been a long time, and we talk about Etsy. We will talk about anything you guys want to know about, the print on demand world, and I will show you how Etsy for me is like an entry level platform to go into Shopify, and why I actually very interested in Etsy. So as the conversation progresses, we will get into more and more information about why I love Etsy and why I like talking about it.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Can you first explain, maybe for those of you, those of the people who are watching don't know, maybe what print on demand is and how you got started?
Well, I guess I will start with where I started. I started back in 1998 when it was eBay. eBay was an infant. I'm a toy collector. I mean, people know me. They know that usually before I used to have a full background, in the back. Full of toys, but people thought that my show was about toys, so not about business or print on demand. So I had to remove it, and I started doing that. So around 2003, I went to corporate because I got married and wife wanted me to have a serious life and serious job, and but always had a little thing that I wanted e-commerce. E-commerce was always what really excited me. So in 2015ish. Because I don't remember, honestly. It was 2014 or 2015 when I went full-time into this. And at some point, actually it was 2014 because 2015 is when merch launched. And I was already going a year. And I had done print on demand in Teespring in early 2000s. But I didn't do really that exciting. I mean, actually, 2010s, and I didn't do that exciting because by the time I got in, Facebook ads had gotten too expensive, and I didn't really make a lot of money. So I said, this is not a good thing for me. Now, print on demand. Before I continue into the evolution, print on demand is pretty much you get a design, in any form. Different print on demand facilities have different specifications of what they expect from your design. Some they can be on PNG, some they have to be in JPEG, some have to be in vector form. But there are different forms to do it. They're easy to do it. There are so many tools that you can actually get, some even free tools that you can actually use for design. And what they do is that you place that design in a product, name it shirt, mug, cell phone case, blankets, mats, yoga mats. I mean, anything. Literally, if you can print on it, it's a print-on-demand product. There are about 20,000 products right now in the print-on-demand world that you can actually go and say, "And hey, I want this product printed for me." Stickers. I mean, literally anything. Because the print-on-demand is not only ink-wise; it can also be by heat transfer. It can also be by 3D printing. It could also be by laser etching. It can be laser printing. It could be UV printer. I mean, it's different types of printing that it can be done. But very much what it is that you don't carry inventory. Very much what you have in your store, it's a product, an imaginary product. Pretty much is like, this is how the product will look if you were to buy it. A person say, okay, I want to buy this product. I buy the product, and then you send the order by automations to the production facility that is going to print that product to your specifications, and they're going to ship the product to the customer saying that you shipped it by yourself. So pretty much it's entirely hands-free when it comes to all the supply chain production. All you have to do is do the design, create some listing in some platform using whatever tool you want to use, either Shopify or Etsy or Amazon, or you want to use a print-on-demand facility like the Printful or T-Launch or CustomCAD or hundreds of others that are available on the market. All you have to do is create the listing. Right title, right product, right price, and customers will buy. And then the supply chain is done by somebody completely different than you. You don't have to touch the product ever. You get the money, you pay the product to whoever is doing that for you, and you keep your profit. They keep their profit. The product customer gets their product, and it's it. It's a very good way to scale a business if you don't have money to start, buying inventory. As you start getting into it, you can start doing more complicated stuff. But as an entry level, it's pretty simple.
So you can have a retailer. It could be any retailer. It doesn't have to be Etsy. Like you were saying, it could be Shopify or any other retailer where customers place their orders. And then you also have a printer, I guess, like something like Printful or Printify. And then when the customer places the order in the retail shop, like your Etsy shop, it gets sent automatically to the printer. They print the product and then ship it directly to the customer. Is that right?
That's right. Actually, way more simpler explain.
So why? That's how my brain works. I just like to simplify everything really I'm visual like that. Okay, so why Etsy then? Why do you really go towards Etsy when there's so many other retail stores out there that you could have it shop in?
I have always sold marketplaces. eBay, Amazon.com, Etsy are marketplaces. Pretty much they have their own customers that come here. You don't have to drive the customer to these marketplaces. People go there automatically, right? They go on saying, "Hey, I want to see what Etsy has." So you don't have to be chasing the customer. Now, when I began print on demand, it was on Merch by Amazon, like a lot of people, right? I was an Amazon seller. Amazon sent me an invitation saying, "Hey, we have this platform," and I started doing it. And I didn't really like a lot of things that were happening there because I didn't have control over absolutely nothing. A few months later, Amazon opened something that's called Amazon Custom, where they don't print for you. You list the product with customizations, where Amazon gives the customer like 2 lines where they can literally add some text. And I decided to try that venue, and I started having way more success on the print on demand by actually being in control of my inventory, control of my pricing, control of my advertisement, control of of my backend keywording, something that emerged by Amazon I was never getting. Even though you can run some ads on Merch by Amazon, you didn't have the control of interpretation of data coming from an ad. because you never knew, how many people actually saw it. You never knew how many people actually clicked to buy it. You didn't even know how many of these items were actually in a cart being abandoned. You only knew how many clicked to purchase. And then they advanced into having, how many clicks it got, because they started charging by click. But it wasn't really telling me absolutely nothing on my product. Also, I was getting no data on any product that I wasn't not running ads. Like, there were some products that I could list, but after a while, I never knew if somebody had even look at it. I didn't even know if this product even had a chance, in the marketplace, because probably it was never even found in the search query. I could find them because I knew what keywords I used, but if I was somebody who didn't use those keywords, probably I would have never found it. So it became one of those deals that, okay, merged by Amazon, even though it was completely risk free and entry level free. As somebody who has a marketing background, I mean, I studied marketing. It wasn't, a good place to be. So there I went to Shopify, and Shopify, it was like going from kindergarten to high school, right? It's now you not only in control of your listing, you have to drive the traffic, because today you open your store in Shopify, nobody knows you exist. I mean, not even your mother, unless you give her a link. So I was there open, and I'm like, oh, okay, how am I gonna get the traffic? And even, after a while, yeah, it started taking off and stuff like that. But it wasn't like the promised land of what somebody had told me. So I said there has to be something in the middle. And at some point, Etsy was always the marketplace for the handmade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they didn't allow anybody who was using production facilities or was reselling. So print on demand for the longest time was something that you couldn't sell on Etsy unless you had the printing facility yourself. So for someone like me who is a reseller, Etsy was never, a possibility. So we never looked into Etsy. When Etsy started looking into the numbers, they realized that the average seller has about 20 listings. And because they're handmade products, there are people home that they got very or focus on one or two products that they wanted to sell, and then they had more because, well, they tried to do something that they didn't sell, and then they had like one or two units of that product. And Etsy was like, okay, I'm charging 20 cents per listing for 3 months, and these guys are creating 20 listings. This is not a good business, plan, right, for our future. And then when they have like very minimum items to sell, it's like, yeah, we're not getting a lot of items sold here either. So, and they wanted to go public, and by going public, they needed a big push. They needed a big number, and they couldn't go public just by saying, yeah, we have a bunch of moms and pops businesses from working from home that are really not really working from home. Even though was a huge marketplace, because it was a tons of people selling and tons of people buying, they were not really power players. Okay, so they said, okay, what do we have that we can bring people? And they look at an Amazon, and they're like, well, Amazon had already copied the custom from Etsy, and they already copied the handmade from Etsy. So there are more. Some of these big players are moving from Etsy into Amazon, and they're like saying, okay, we're losing sellers. So at some point, the CEO had this brilliant idea that designs were done handmade, and they said, okay, we are going to allow print on demand people as long as the store owner had something to do in the production process. Name it the artistic creation of the design. So you can sell print on demand on Etsy as long as those designs are yours or by a member of your staff. In this case, a designer can be a member of your staff. And then you can say, I'm going to hire a third-party production facility because I don't have the capabilities to produce my product, but I design my product, right? So that is how we found the loophole to be able to start putting on-demand products on Etsy, and that's how they found it. And before they realized, they got this huge bombardment of people wanting to sell. The problem is that Etsy became the Wild Wild West because they brought a bunch of low-end sellers trying to bring the same junk that they were selling on Merch by Amazon into Etsy, and Etsy is like, yeah, we have a bunch of junk. this is not really going to work for us. So they started aiming at the people that were on Shopify. The Shopify sellers that were making $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 a year, they wanted on Etsy. And when they started contacting people on those platforms, they started answering, "Yeah, we're not interested. Why would I want to go to a marketplace to sell if I can sell in my Shopify store?" At the same time, there's all these copycats and all these people, reporting, intellectual property. My account can get closed, blah blah blah. Where in Shopify, I own the brand, I own the store, I own my clients. So Etsy said, "Okay, here's the deal. I will let you. The customers are yours and ours." That is the first time a marketplace has ever shared customers with anybody else. So right now, you make a sale on Etsy. Etsy gives you all the data from the buyer. You got the email, you got the address, you got the name, you got everything you need for you to try to sell them again and again and again. So it became quite an invitation to say, "Okay, I like it." But we were like, "Okay, but now what?" Okay, I get that information. So okay, we're gonna have an integration with Aweber. You will get autoresponder integrated with Etsy, and now you can create, as soon as they make a purchase, they can fall into your funnel, and you can bring them back to the store. Okay, now for a marketer, that started becoming something very, very interesting. But we are like, but it's not enough. Okay, the sales volumes that I will have on Etsy marketplace are not going to compare to the sales volumes I will have in my Shopify store. It has to be something more for me. So Etsy said, "Okay, I'll bring you a Facebook pixel. You can bring your own pixel to your Etsy store, and you can track all your data from every single click you get in your store, from every single person that goes and visits, from every single person that adds to cart. You get that data because your pixel is going to keep track of that, and you can run Facebook ads to your product by going to conversions and getting that." And that's when people started saying, "Okay, now you got my attention." The real marketers, we started looking, "Okay, now you got my attention. I can have emails, I can have Facebook pixels, and I can have all this data." Okay.
Yeah, that's so valuable. Yeah, I mean, that's feedback for you as a seller.
So for me, it was like, okay, I'm in Shopify. I'm struggling to build my store because I need to bring traffic. But Etsy is telling me, "Hey, come and build your traffic here." So that's why when you say $3,000 to $5,000 a month, yes, that's what I make on Etsy, because I don't do more effort, because my effort is really in my Shopify store. Etsy is building me a niche, every single month, every single sale. Because if you know a little bit of Facebook ads, every time you get an email, you can plug that email into Facebook. You can feed that email to Facebook and tell Facebook, "Hey, Facebook, this is one of my customers." And Facebook said, "Oh, I have this email in my system. I know them." I said, "Okay, show me everybody who thinks like this person, right? Look at like audience." And Facebook says, "How many people do you want to think like this person?" "I want 1 million people that think like that person." Facebook goes and looks for all over the world. Said, "I found your 1 million people that you want." Of course, it's not one email. You go with 100 or 1,000, right? And Facebook says, "Okay, I found your audience. I found your customers." I'm like, "Okay, now let's run ads on these guys for liking. Let's test my product. Hey guys, that you may like my product. Here is a shirt that I want to sell. What do you guys think of it?" And people will start liking for 7 cents, 5 cents per like and share. And now you can start running market research, something that you really you couldn't really do you open a Shopify store from zero, because you don't have absolutely zero data. The beautiful thing is that, yeah, sometimes when you drive an ad to Facebook, sometimes this person is going to go buy something somewhere else in Etsy, but you get data, and for a marketer, data is super important. So Etsy has been evolving and more and more and more. Where now we can do A/B testings, and we can change our images, and we can do keywords, and we can do a lot of different stuff that has made Etsy a powerhouse for people that are looking to build a serious business. In 1-2 years, you have next amount of data. You can say, "You know what? I don't need this store anymore because my Shopify store has taken off." But at the same time, I use it consistently because it creates me good data. Like right now, for example, we're in the middle of the mask, season. Everybody's selling masks, And I didn't want to really go and spend thousands of dollars on running ads on my Shopify store, so I bombarded my Etsy store first, and I run a couple Etsy ads, internal Etsy ads, to see the reaction, and I sold a lot of masks. So now I know, okay, I can leave my mask in Etsy, because they're selling, but now on my Shopify store, I'm doing it, at a greater scale. Because first of all, I don't have to pay 20 cents. Second of all, I don't have to answer to any complaint that people have to do. I don't have to, deal with, um, feedbacks or reviews or things like that could have. I mean, in my store, I'm the owner, right? If somebody reports me to Shopify, to PayPal or something like that, I'll deal with it, right? But I mean, in Etsy, it's still a marketplace, and sometimes they can say, you know what, you violated some policy and that you didn't violate, that somebody reported you because you were the competitor. It happens on all the marketplaces. Jealousy hits and people report you for nothing. And so you want to have some security as well by having your story as well. But Etsy, it's an amazing marketplace. I mean, it has become like a marketer's dream, because even though you don't have the experience to open a Shopify store, you can start learning marketing on Etsy. And the traffic is there. It's 80,000 people every month going to purchase at Etsy. So it's
that was something as well too, that when we were selling on Merch by Amazon, we didn't have that data to know if it's working. Like if you're throwing up a listing, are people looking at it? What's the reaction there? So with Etsy, it's you have that data in terms of how many people are looking, how many people are buying, all that kind of stuff. So you can scale accordingly and you can grow your creative business. So for someone who's just starting out here, well, actually, let's first talk about what's happening right now, because we get this question on our channel a lot. Is it the right time to start an Etsy shop with everything that's going on right now? What would you say to that?
I think right now it's the perfect time. I mean, you have two special events going on right now. Okay, if I mean, COVID-19. Let's remove the politics and remove the human side of the situation. Every catastrophe in the world always generates two types of situation. Either people go from middle class to poor, or people go from middle class to rich. So, and it's about taking advantage of the situation. Right now, the people are buying a lot and Etsy is one of those marketplaces where people are spending the money. So should you start now? Yes. Because right now it's probably the easiest time to start, because almost every state, or not every state, but a lot of states have been passing laws where everybody has to wear masks right now. Now, there are no medical surgery masks available. So they're saying, okay, buy some clothing masks. So you want to go out to the street, you have to buy some of these. So the market is there. 360 million Americans, if they want to leave their house, they have to wear some sort of mask.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is number one. So, I mean, even if a million of us go into selling masks, we still have to sell 360 each one of us, and that's still a lot of money. And there's not going to be that many people, right? Now, these are becoming, you see, people can buy cheap masks for $5 right now outside. Like they're like a bunch of moms and pops shops in locals are selling. They're going to Walmart, buying whatever thread they find, and cloth or whatever it's called, and they're making their own masks at home by sewing them themselves, and they're selling for $5 to $7. But they're ugly. Okay, these were not meant to be fashion statements. So a mask is selling right now for $14.99 to $19.99. Cheap as hell looking product, but with a good design in front. They're fashion statements. Okay, people don't want to look. Now, if I'm gonna have to wear a mask, I'm gonna wear something that's gonna look nice, or it's gonna be fun. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. It's same for those all those tubular tube what do they call these things?
A headband?
Yeah, tube headbands or whatever. They're left with the whole thing. Those are selling like crazy as well.
Yeah.
And those ones people are making like $10, $15 per item they sell. Okay, so And Etsy is loaded with them, but people are still selling. I was just talking to one person I coached today. She has sold $6,500 on Etsy month to date, only on those things.
Wow.
I just talked to another one, and she was telling me, she told me, Fernando, I'm running $10 ads, and I already made about $2,000 this month, and I'm like, why are you running to the $10 in ads? And she's like, is that a bad thing? It's like, no, it's nothing. We raise your volume to 50, right? You're selling already $2,000, a $10 ad spend. Why are you spending $10? A lot of people who are going into Etsy are not used to market themselves and are not used to spending money on ads. That they think some of these guys have like $2 set up every day used to make some sales, so they don't feel like they're losing money. Also, if they don't convert, and when they're doing 10, they're thinking they're doing a lot of money on ads, and when in reality, you have to, you're selling and you're profitable. Raise that number. Get it up right now. People are going bonkers of selling. And this lady who was selling 6,500 today was using masks. She was running an ad spend of $15, and I say, why are you not raising that ad spend? You're converting at $1 per item sold. You're converting. Why are you not raising those ad spend? It's like, because it's not on my nature to do ads. So
is that part of your strategy then, is to you throw up some listings on Etsy with your designs and connect it with let's say Printful or some sort of printing store, then you use ads to send traffic there?
Etsy has their own internal system on ads. Etsy has their own internal. So you don't really have to learn how to do ads. All you have to do is really tell them Etsy how much money you want to spend a day.
Yeah.
Now, there's a video in the course that we cover all that, and it's very simple. It has to do with your keywords, and they run ads on the keywords. So, and you can start with like $5 and say, okay, if I'm not making any sales, then I need to tweak keywords, I need to tweak my pricing, I need to do something. It's about trial and error, and you don't have to run ads either. Organic sales happen every single time, but right now they are selling at such a fast speed that it justifies the ad spend. Now, but again, it's based on your comfort zone, right? Like yesterday, I had a friend who sent me this. Let me see if I can find it.
Because that was one of my questions, is how do you get people to your shop? So you're basically saying that you can do the keyword research stuff and not spend any money on ads, but given the amount of traffic that people, everyone's searching for something online right now to buy, you're basically supercharging your listings, giving it that boost with the ad spend.
Yes, I just give the boost with the ad spend. I mean, it can happen organically as any other platform, any other marketplace. For the longest time, Merch by Amazon, nobody ran ads. But right now, for example, the mass market right now, it's definitely something that people are running on. It's a pay to play right now, right? It's it's a lot of people are running ads that it's a pay to play situation. Now, you will sell some organic. Yes, I'm selling organic once every day. To be honest, $50 ad spent, honestly, in Etsy is lasting me about an hour. After an hour, I am out of budget. So because they're just burning the budget, and they give you $50 maximum. If you use $50 for 3 consecutive days, they will bump it to $125. And you use $125 for 3 consecutive days, they will bump it to I don't know how much money. But they keep on bumping the ad spend. But they don't want to get you out of control, so they block you at 50 daily. Some stores actually open them at 25. They give you based on your volume and sales. So they don't let you go wild, but you don't have to spend it all. You can spend or you don't have to spend at all. It's entirely up to you. Like, for example, this friend you sent me this, I don't know, you can see it. So this is a Shopify store, 7,085.29. He sent me use this deal. This was done yesterday before 5 p.m. That was done only on masks.
Wow.
Okay. So, and I'm selling on a $14.99 average per sale. So, I mean, the market is huge right now. So, and then and we have another situation. We have Mother's Day in less than a month.
Right. Yes.
And we are not going to be meeting moms because we are not going to go out because of the social distancing. So, guess how is mom going to get their presents?
Shipped right to their door.
From stores. And guess where a lot of women go and buy presents for mom? To Etsy.
Etsy, yeah.
Because Etsy is the female marketplace of choice. So right now it's one of those that you have, you know,
Sweet spot right now,
you
basically.
have the COVID situation, you have the Mother's Day coming, and right after that is Father's Day.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you're thinking that it's not the right time to start, right now people are making more money. The right people are making more money right now than in Christmas. Because while a lot of people right now are licking their wounds and saying, "Oh my God, my business is going under. I don't know what to do." Some of the people are saying there's an opportunity and I'm going to take it and I'm going to make money. And those people that are taking that opportunity and making money are making a lot of money. Um, there's a lot
Yeah.
of people saying right now is not the time to profit. I'm like, well, somebody has to provide the service. Somebody has to provide the good that is required. Somebody has to do something, so why not you? Uh, we're not selling nothing illegal. We're selling something that is actually necessary in the market. Even some of our governments are saying that we have to wear masks. So not everybody has a sewing machine at home that they can make it themselves. They're gonna have to go buy it. And as I said, the t-shirts related are also selling. Mugs are selling. I mean, things are selling. Not only masks, because not everybody lost their job. Okay, so and not everybody is going to lose their job. There are so many people that have got job security, regardless of, and so it's, even though a lot of people have lost their jobs, it's still a huge majority that still have them. And all these people that still have them, we know that this is, the states, the government's already saying that states are going to start opening little by little in starting next week in some states. So things are going to start going back to normal. So people are starting to get, okay, the money is not going to be tight, but they're having far less expenses right now because they're not driving, they're not going to restaurants, they're not going to, any type form of entertainment. So they have, a lot of people right now have a lot more cash flow that they usually have if they were actually working. Because when you go to work, you have to drive, you have to pay tollways, you have to, you buy, you just go for your lunch, then you probably go out with a couple of friends, and whatever your age situation, you have kids to take you for entertainment, you go to the movies, you buy them ice creams. Right now, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So
People are spending their money on, like, whether it's educational to learn something new, a skill, or they're spending money on products that are going to make them feel good or someone else feel good.
it's pay per click on Etsy. Yes, it's pay per click.
I'm
Um,
just going to go quickly to the comments just to see if there's any questions. We have people saying hi. Hello, Fuzzy. Jojo says hi, Auret. Hi, Fernando.
hello.
Let's see if there's any questions here. So Jojo asks, how big is Etsy's marketplace compared to Amazon?
Still a baby next to him. I mean, Amazon is huge. um,
Etsy is kind of like its own niche.
it's
It's,
its own little world.
yeah, it's
Even eBay is bigger than Etsy.
yeah.
But you don't have to see it in terms of how big one is and how big the other one is. You have to see it in terms of how many sales can I get out of this person. Okay, a lot of people always say like, "Oh my God, that's a bigger marketplace." Yeah, but there's also a bigger seller pool, and Etsy is a smaller, but it's a smaller pool, and people pay more expensive on Etsy that they pay on Amazon, and people are more lenient on Etsy in terms of shipping terms and conditions that they're on Amazon. People
Yeah.
who go to Amazon, they expect prime shipping. They expect it to be shipped in 2 days or less. They want the best pricing because people are competing. When you create a listing, people are competing for pricing, so they expect the cheapest price available. And when you go to Amazon, very few people realize that in Amazon there is more than Amazon selling. That there are also sellers selling in Amazon, because every single listing says Amazon, 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 Amazon. So that very few people actually realize, because I have surprisingly come to realize when I talk to people, that they don't understand that it's a lot of sellers on Amazon. So when people go to Amazon, they expect a mega corporation to be doing the right thing and ship fast, be free, be cheap, and be with good quality. When people go to Etsy, they expect a small business. They expect a moms and pops business, and they expect that they can actually go to you. The old days of Etsy, people could actually go and negotiate terms and negotiate, pricing. It was like going to one of those flea markets, and you could say, "Hey, I really like that shirt, but I don't have $20. Can I give you 17?" And you actually started negotiating with them. And I guess you get from time to time people that actually do that. And honestly, I don't care. I welcome people like that, and I actually reach an agreement. They tend to leave good feedback to you, and you made a sale. So I mean, it's about volume at the end of the day. Maybe I didn't make the $5 I wanted, but I $3. I didn't spend any ad money on it. I didn't spend any type of promotion or whatever. I can give you that discount, and I get a happy customer that probably is going to refer me or probably going to come back again, maybe to negotiate again. But Etsy opens that. It's more of like, since people know that these are small businesses, they know that we don't have this fancy technology, and that we don't have like hundreds of employees that is going to get the orders in 2 days shipped. They understand that sometimes it's going to take us 5 to 6 days to do something and send them out, or probably a week or two. And so they understand that it is not going to come with the speed of light. And when something bad happens and the product gets delivered late or something, they are more flexible than when it comes to Amazon. So it has its pros and cons. They
Yeah.
also tend to pay a little more because they understand that they know that we are doing all this labor ourselves, even though we're not doing nothing. But it's the behavior of the marketplace. They are like, yeah, I understand you are not a mega company, that you don't pay $2 for this blank shirt. You're probably paying $5 or $6 because you don't have the volume capabilities. And and some people try to understand that. So
Yeah.
I that's what I like about Etsy as well.
And that's another thing too, is that on Etsy, you're able to interact more with your customers and get to know who they are. Whereas when you're selling on Amazon, you don't talk to them at all. You don't even know who your customers are. So if you are more of a people person and you like to connect with your customers that way, then Etsy is definitely a great place to do that. Jojo's also asking, I first want to say hello, Product Patrol. Thanks for jumping on the live stream. Jojo's asking, is there PPC on Etsy?
Yes, I actually answered earlier. But yes, there is pay per click on Etsy. You they actually charge for every time somebody clicks on it.
Right. Okay. And Jewel actually has a question she's asking here. Do you need prior experience to get started on Etsy or with print on demand?
Well, I mean, as anything is preferable, but it's not mandatory, right? As anything you can learn. It's see, Etsy. It's about creating a listing and listing it. And every day more people open. And you think about this. A lot of people who started on Etsy were people that were just sitting home and they were creating some, puppet sockets, and they were creating, like little buttons or little vinyl shirts, and they're like, I want to sell this, and they create a listing, So it's like, I mean, if they were able to learn without any e-commerce experience and they just wanted to sell something, it's not that difficult. Okay, and now you want to start getting more sales, more volume, and more profits and more products. Yes, it needs education like anything else. You need to to educate yourself and learn more about it. Print on demand, as I said, it can go as simple as going to YouTube and finding some tutorials on how to make a design, or finding their designs that are already sold. Somebody's already making, and hire a BA and Fiverr or something to say, hey, make me a couple of designs. Or getting one of those softwares, like, but there's some software like Photoshop and stuff like that, which requires some level of knowledge. But there's some other softwares.
Sorry, Fernando, just to ask you a question. These are digital designs, right? So
yeah, digital designs.
So if someone, let's say someone's likes drawing or printmaking or something like that, they would need to get their creations in like a digital format in order to put it.
Yes,
Okay.
they have to be digital format. So you will have to digitalize it, which you know how you can do it. Otherwise, you can. For example, when I started Print on Demand, my daughter drew the first designs she did. I actually got somebody on Fiverr, and I took a picture of my design. Actually, it was scan picture of my design, and I sent it to people. Somebody on Fiverr said, "Can you digitize it?" I make it a transparent PNG, and I think they charge me like $3 per each one of them, and they make it a file that I could use for print on demand. So you're one of those people that are very good on drawing. You can actually draw, and you can get somebody to make it a digital file out of it. It's not that it is not that difficult to make, to be honest. But if you are, like me, designing pair, you go to Fiverr or you go to any one of those websites, and you pay somebody on the other side of the world, literally pretty much nothing, and they can make them for you happen. It's
just bring the ideas to them, and then they create it in Photoshop or wherever.
Yes, I mean a design is usually around a very basic design, which is really what you need at some point. It's about $5 a design in average. Now you start getting a BA, and you start paying him, virtual assistant, and you start paying him, like more to be on your payroll. Yeah, they can get lower to $2 or $3 per design, but they usually around that neighborhood. Now there are other tools like Make Merch. What's the Make Merch stuff? No, it's not Make.art. There's like $20 a month, and then they give you a bunch of design components that you can drag into a little square, and you can actually make your design by just dragging components. That makes it a lot easier, actually.
So it's very that kind of ties into the question of, are there any startup costs on starting this whole Etsy print on demand business? But it really, I guess, depends on what you have to work with. If you're someone who knows how to create your own designs, great, you can upload those straight into your listings. If you're someone who has no experience whatsoever with designing, then you can easily go to some of these tools that you've mentioned and either create them yourself or ask someone to design them for you for $3 to $5 a design.
Yes, I mean, print on demand, to be honest, is probably one of the e-commerce businesses that is the easiest barrier to entry. You literally can find tools like to make your own designs for free. If you look, like there is GIMP, and there's other tools like that you can find for free. I honestly personally prefer paid programs because I prefer quality and things like that. But if the budget is an issue, you can find so much, free tools that you can start designing tomorrow. You just have to be very understanding of the copyright and trademark laws, because you cannot just say, I'm going to make a shirt with this phrase of a famous song or a famous movie, or the likeness of an actor or very famous characters from a movie or cartoons. Those ones will get you shut down immediately. You cannot go and say phrases that are trademark, or even some states, the name of the states or symbols are trademark, and you cannot use them for profit purposes. So you have to really, for example, like a lot of people like to got in trouble at some points because they were doing the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is trademarked by the city of Paris. You cannot use it to make profits out of it. So
and there's a place, like if you're ever unsure, there's a site that you can look up. Is it Trademarkia, or there's
there's Trademarkia. I haven't used that one I have forgotten about it. I actually go to USPTO.gov, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and it's the one I use because to me I'd rather go to the source, which is because Trademarkia actually gets to the USPTO's database and actually gets information out of there. It gives you a little bit more of information on something else, but sometimes I have found that they don't get you their answers. Sometimes they say there's no data, and they didn't go and they didn't put the right one. So it is one of those that you have to do. I think we have a bunch of questions, so we better answer.
Yeah. I was going to move on to another question. So, is selling on Etsy similar to eBay? TY asks.
Pretty much, I would say yes. I think it's easier to make a listing on Etsy today than it is to make a listing on eBay. But yes, you can. The selling fee on the listing fee on Etsy is for 20 cents for 3 months, and I believe actually I haven't checked this number in a while, but I believe it's 10% of the selling price in commissions. When it comes to that includes the PayPal fees and I mean, not about the transaction fee and everything else. So it's actually cheaper than Amazon and cheaper than eBay in terms of fees. They don't have a monthly fee because I know somebody asked. They don't have a monthly fee. They have an option that if you want to go to Etsy Pro, you can pay $10 a month, and they will give you X amount of listings for free, which I don't have it on top of my head. I think it's a few listings for free, and they give you some money for ad spend as well for that included, and then they give you extra tools for your dashboard and stuff like that. So pretty much when you add the listing cost and the ad cost that they give you on the $10 is about $9. So you're really literally paying only for $1 for the extra tools, which to me makes it worth it because I still spend money on listings and I still spend money on ads anyway. So I'm gonna use it anyways. Now you're somebody who doesn't like ads, who doesn't plan to be adding listings very often, then the $10 is probably a waste of money because the little tools that they give you for the dollar extra, they don't really they don't really convert money. They are just make your store look more pretty and more attractive to the eye. Like you can feature some products and things like that, but that's about it.
Okay, excellent. And Liat is asking, do you know whether you can be a seller on Pinterest?
Nobody
Right. You can. I know a lot of Etsy sellers who use Pinterest to funnel traffic back to their Etsy store. That's for sure. Because Pinterest kind of has that same kind of vibe where it's like handmade and one of a kind stuff as well. Female market primarily. So, but I'm not sure about directly selling on Pinterest.
Etsy integrates with Pinterest. So when you create a listing, you can create a pin from your listing into Pinterest. So it will generate in your pin. It will generate the Etsy link. So when somebody opens the image on the pin, they actually have the clickable link, but they actually can take into the checkout. So it's kind of like an evolution of what used to be the buyable pins, what they're no longer using. But it still drives a lot of traffic. I do a lot of Pinterest for myself because of that purpose. It generates a lot of traffic. Pinterest is the number one search engine for people looking for ideas on what to buy, especially women. So when people go into Etsy and they start looking for something, they go with intention, okay, what I'm going to buy, let me see what is cute out there. So it helps a lot in the research, and having a good board on Pinterest, it's a great money maker for a Shopify store and an Etsy store. They all should have at least. You have a store in Etsy or in Shopify, you should have a Pinterest board.
Yeah, and Etsy gives you tools as well within your shop to be able to easily promote to your social media channels.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. And they have a seller app where you could easily, just kind of like how you post on Instagram, you can easily post your listings or something like that, even a video, and share them to your social media feed. So they have a lot of great tools for their sellers.
You can also run ads from Pinterest. They're cheap. But I honestly haven't been able to convert a lot. Honestly, even though they're very cheap, the data is still not there for me to know what the behaviors are in the people that are looking at the ad. So I haven't really invested a lot of money, but you can at least boost the pin to get in more people's eyes for not a lot of money. Like usually they will take like $3 a day and they will run that pin. They will show it to a lot of people, so it's not that bad.
Okay, and Jules asking, you can see the traffic coming from Pinterest to your Etsy store. Do you know, Fernando?
Like you see that data?
Can you see this data? I'm not sure if you can see that it's directly coming from Pinterest.
Give me a minute.
Just curious.
I think you can, but I don't remember. I don't remember if they actually say.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Looking in our Etsy dashboard, that you can see exactly the.
Yeah, you can see if this comes from social media, but I don't.
But can you integrate it with like something like Google Analytics, Fernando, or you
Oh
can?
yeah, you can install a Google Analytics account into Etsy. Yes.
Yeah, so if it's not in the dashboard, then you can definitely know
Yes.
more on that. Another question. Oh, yeah. Did you want to say something?
It will say social media only.
Okay, so
It will
more.
say how many clicks have you gotten from social media, and social media includes visits from Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and all the social media channels. But it won't tell you exactly from where.
Yeah, so I guess you'd need the Google Analytics, the deeper
Yeah,
dive.
Google Analytics will tell you that for sure. Yes.
Awesome. And just quickly, Liat says, good to know. I've opened an account on Pinterest and says developed and is great for crafting ideas. Yes. And then the other question from TY, where's the best place to learn how to use Etsy and how to start a POD business? Well, TY, actually, Fernando has a great course, which Jewel did a review on this channel. We have a separate video reviewing his course. But Fernando, do you want to talk a little bit more about your course, your online course?
Well, yeah. I mean, thank you. I mean, we were not planning talking until the end about. I was actually getting to the end. But yeah, it's a course on print on demand. It's focused on print on demand. Now, you don't really need to use it for print on demand, but because of my audience, it's actually print on demand, and what I do in it's print on demand. I did a lot of information regards print on demand, and in this course, what I did is that I did everything step by step for anybody who didn't know exactly how to open an Etsy store. I went and did a video from how to open an account, how to set up the account, how to do all the settings. I explained why the settings need to be filled. A lot of Etsy has in their settings has a lot of that is like it's optional, but nothing is optional. Etsy you say it's optional, but the people that pay more attention and people to fill the questions, the best gets more traffic from Etsy. I cover how to create the listings. I cover how to create the keywords. I cover how to create, how to bring traffic, and I give some ideas on print-on-demand companies. Some that you can use for free. Some that you can actually, integrate directly from them. Some that you will have to integrate with a Shopify store, because one thing that I found is that there are only a limited number of companies that have a direct integration with Etsy. One is Printful, and the other one is Goofin. And there are probably 2 or 3 more that have it, but everybody and their mother uses them, and they are not the cheapest. They don't charge you any money for using their app, so they make the money on their products. Now, in Shopify, you have a world of print-on-demand suppliers that integrate to Shopify, but they don't integrate to Etsy. Or some integrate to Etsy only going through Shopify. So I teach you how to connect a Shopify store, which you can go as low as $10 a month on Shopify. And right now Shopify is free for 90 days, by the way, because of the COVID. They are actually trying to get people to open a Shopify store. It's literally free for 90 days. You can connect those integrations to Shopify, and the Shopify send them to Etsy, and you can have a lot more products than your competition has. Because now the world is, all the marketplace is your opportunity and to find different products that your competition is not doing. So, like for example, I was doing laser edge tumblers, something that all these other print-on-demand facilities like Goofin or Printful didn't have them, but I could find them on T-Launch, or I could find them on a scalable press, or I could find them, on Custom CAD. So, and through integration, I was able to bring that data and push it into my store. So this course covers from very basic to more advanced, and helps you how to find a sale and how to, not only get good at Etsy, but start planting the seed for eventually having a Shopify store, which honestly, for any print-on-demand seller, that should be the ultimate goal, to have your standalone store, to be able to have your own traffic and your own customer base, so you don't have to rely on a marketplace customer base, because they can kick you any day. and that is something that you want to be protected. What happened?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was just talking to Jill for a second.
I saw your list more. I'm like, she's talking to me.
Sorry, Fernando. We were trying to figure out some technical thing. Yeah. So, guys, you have a link down in the description, whether you're watching this from Facebook or YouTube, that will take you straight to Fernando's website. I know we saw some questions on that. That is his site, where you can learn more about the course, watch the video that he has on there, and also there's a coupon code, a discount code in the description that will give you $80 discount. So that's only available for 20 people, but Fernando has graciously allowed us to give that to you guys, our audience, in case any of you are interested in jumping into this and seeing what it's all about. It's really an interesting world, and it's something that's, it's hands off, but you still get to exercise your creativity because you are the one in charge of the designs, coming up with the design. So that's kind of the fun part. And then, setting up the listings, and then your partners, Printful or whoever, do the rest. They do the work in terms of printing it and sending it to your customers. So yeah, that's what we were trying to figure out, is putting these banners up here.
Yeah.
So
and the course goes with a Facebook group. So anytime you have a question, you have access to ask anything to me or my group. The group, there is quite a few amount of people in the group. Not a lot of people ask questions, because for some reason they don't ask. But as soon as you ask a question, I always answer that. So my goal is to help you get the business going. Okay, and I offer 30-day money back guarantee. So I'm honestly, I have only like 1 or 2 people have asked me for that money back, and honestly, I know why they did. Is because they resold my course on somewhere else. They just came and copy it, so they came, pay, copy, and they asked for the money back. So, But yes, and please, if you want to use this coupon, please use the link that you and Auret are providing, so that I can give them proper credit for this. So, as I said, it's only good for 20 the first 20 people, and it's gonna be, But please use the link. It's my way of saying thank you for them to having me here. And if you guys have any questions, you're always welcome to join my free group, and you can ask more questions there as well.
Yeah, we've known, guys, you'll be in good hands with Fernando. We've known him for a few years now, and he really goes thoroughly explaining every single step. If this is something that you're interested in, you'll definitely be in good hands. And like he said, he will answer all of your questions as well. He's really a great guy to learn this from. Lenny is asking, is the course limited to Etsy, or do you cover what you know about Shopify?
I cover very basic Shopify. To be honest, a Shopify course, a good course, is like $500 to $1,000. Okay, and then you want to go into learning ads for Shopify. That is a lot more than that. So I do very basic Shopify introduction. What I did is that it includes a webinar. It's about 2 hours that I recorded every single step that I do to open a Shopify store. So filling out the information, adding your your domain name, filling out the shipping settings and stuff like that. So I did all that. So all the basic to launch Shopify store, it's there included. Now, if you want to go into now the more advanced techniques, no, that is not in this course, because it's an Etsy course, it's not a Shopify course. Originally, when I created this course, it was funny because I had people from the Merch by Amazon world asking me, can you do a Shopify, an Etsy course? And then I had people from Shopify asking me, hey, Fernando, can you do a Shopify course? An Etsy course. And I'm like, okay. So I said, okay, let me create one for both.
Right.
So it's like people from Shopify, this is how you do it. People from Etsy, from Merch by Amazon, this is how you do it. Yeah. And that's why I decided to integrate, all that. And for people who are coming from the outside, it's a win-win, because they get to learn Etsy, they get to learn marketing, and they get to learn the basic Shopify, to do it. So
So it is a beginner's course then, like
it
telling
is a beginner's course, yes.
Okay, excellent. Lenny says, but do you
Yes.
mention Shopify to Etsy apps?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I mean, I give you a reason why you want to use Shopify, and I give you some examples of the apps. Like the best one right now that I would recommend is, even if you don't buy the course, you can get a Shopify Lite, which is $10 a month. You will not have a store. You will only have a Shopify integration, a Shopify kind of like to be used with your Facebook page to have some checkout. But you can install an app called T-Launch, and then you can integrate with Etsy. That is really the most basic ones. But then once you go into more detail into Shopify, you can integrate with like companies like Shine-On, that is jewelry, custom-made jewelry, or you can go with Custom Cat, which now they have a bunch of different products at a lower price. For example, a T-shirt on Printful is like $9.50, the cheapest one. You can find T-shirts on Custom Cat for $6.50. So the same shirt for $3 difference. So when you start looking at, okay, I'm selling 50 of these shirts and I'm making $3 difference, $150, difference on margins. I don't mind spending some money on an app to get this lower and add more products. So I explain all the logistics. Once you get to know me, I'm a numbers kind of guy. I work for the oil and gas industry in contract management for many years. So I like to show the logic, and I like to explain everything like in numbers terms. I just don't have. I only have an hour, so and I like to talk. So it's another thing about me. I like to talk, and especially when I am excited about something, I like to talk. So, but yeah, it's Etsy. It's right now it should be the best time to join, because and I keep forgetting the name of that piece that right now to print. Now I'll have to go to the Printful.
What is it? A product?
Yeah, I keep forgetting the names of the. This
Turtleneck.
morning I had a training. I have a mastermind, where people, pay for a yearly, and we do coaching twice a month, and we've had this conversation the whole day today, and I still cannot remember. Neck Gator, those things are selling like crazy right now on Shopify.
I don't even know what that is. I'm not sure what that is.
It's the tubular bandana that we talked about earlier.
Oh, okay.
They are Shopify Printful has them for $12.95, and they're selling for $24 easy. And all day long. The bad thing about them is that they're full sublimation. The good thing about it is that they're easier to design because they use patterns pretty much, and they're making good amount of money on them. They're selling a lot of them left and right.
And the patterns are that's what you use. You mentioned the tool where you put in the different icons that puts it all together to create the design.
Yeah, I can share the screen, right? Yeah. Okay. And I don't get nothing. Okay, you can see these.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, designer. So this tool is called makemerch.art, and pretty much it is like for people that have no idea how to design. You just go and click on art, and let's say I want to there are thousands of different images here. Okay, so I don't know. I'm just gonna find a model.
Free, you're allowed to use them.
Yeah, you pay. I think it's $20 or something that I'm on. I got a lifetime deal because I used to promote this tool, so I don't know how much it is, but I don't know. Let's say that you want to use this one, and you click on it, and it goes here, right? And then you can make it. You can make it smaller. You can move it around, up and down, and then you can go in text, and you can say, okay, I want one text.
Oh wow, yeah, it makes
and then you type ebook between, I don't know, whatever you want to do here, right? And this is a baby announcement deal, whatever. I am, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but you can start, changing the colors here, and it starts modifying everything you do. Okay, so you can do effects, and then you can make make it look different. And what I'm saying is that if once you get the hang of this tool, you can create designs in minutes, and you can have hundreds of designs in minutes. And what I like about this one is that I don't have to spend money on fonts. I don't have to spend money on images. I don't have to spend money on anything. They give it to me for a flat fee, and I use design whenever I want to. So
Awesome.
it is the easiest tool available right now in the market, to be honest. There are other ones like Pexels, but they already give it the designs already made. And Etsy is not a big fan of designs that you didn't make, because then you break the one rule that you have to be a process of of the whole creation. And when you're joining a membership site that gives you designs, you cannot really justify what were you doing as part of of the process.
Right.
So.
Excellent. And then I guess we'll take one more question here. Oh, it's from Jewel. Jewel's asking, what's a unique product that sells that you didn't think would? Good question. Any interesting product?
The one product that made me the most money that I had no faith on was the fidget spinners.
Oh, the fidget spinners.
The fidget spinners, when they came out, everybody was playing with them. But a friend of mine came with the wonderful idea that he had this flatbed printer, and he got a bunch of spinners and removed the little tops, the little things where you will, the little caps, whatever they're called. Yeah. And he put them in a bed, and he printed on them different things. So when we got them, we were like, print on demand spinners. They sold like crazy because people were buying them for party favors with the name of the kit, with the name of the the anniversaries and stuff like that. And we were doing it custom made, and people were buying them in bulk. And I was like, wow, we never thought about that one. That one was a major hit. To be honest, I didn't think the masks were going to be that great, and they have been amazing. And the beautiful thing about the masks is that people say, well, the whole pandemic is about to be over. We're going back to normal. Well, the same thing happened with China, right? With the avian flu about 2-3 years ago. They started wearing the masks, and now they are common pop culture. They wear them now every day. And I believe that that's going to happen here in the United States as well. The fear that this thing has generated, and in the worldwide as it is, I think a lot of people are going to be, wearing these masks for the foreseeable future. And the one thing about the masks is, I don't know if you have worn any lately, is that when you put them on and you start breathing on them, they get wet.
Oh, yeah.
And
damp, yeah.
And after a while, they start smelling really bad. So people are buying multiples because of that same purpose.
Yeah, so you can put it in the laundry and then use another one. And
even for the same trip, people are buying. These are the crappy ones that they were giving away on Painful. So they are used. They get wet. They get smelly. And if you're a paranoid of germs, you're like, I don't want to wear. If I went outside and I came back home, you don't want to use it again. You want to wash it, and then you want to have another one ready, because you already went to the shopping center, and now you breathe what everybody's breathing. And as soon as you get in your car, it's like, okay, I need to change it. So people are going to be, that they want to have 4 or 5 available at any single time. So seeing bags, shopping carts with 2, 3, 5, 6, 12 has been something that I haven't seen in shirts. People are buying multiples, and that is something that it's. I mean, this is going to be a business for the long term. No, it's going to be something like, in 1 month everybody's going to forget. No, I don't think so. It's going to be for something that is going to be like, probably for the summer, people are going to slow down. But once the cold and the flu season begins again, people are going to get all like mask. They don't want to get sick. They don't want to get stuff, because it's human behavior, right? Great paranoia, and we overreact, and so we're going to be using them. So it's money to be made on those, and you can see that every single day a new print on demand company is like, we can mask now. We can, and some of them are extremely ugly. I mean, some of them look like like used baby diapers. Uh, they're so bulky and ugly. Or this one that look like I just cut a piece of my my mom's underwear and put it on my face. They're so bad.
Like, that looks like a piece of underwear, yeah.
It's
But that's why, people go to that. That makes perfect sense, though, because people go to Etsy to have one of a kind things, right? Really custom made things, products, pieces of artwork. So it's interesting that so many people are asking if it's a good time, thinking it's not, when it's actually there's a really big opportunity here.
It is the best time to start a business right now. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you don't make money right now, you are not doing nothing better. Why not launch a business? And when the market starts taking off, or when you're ready to start selling, it will be ready to sell. So, I mean, I don't understand why people are saying that right now is the worst time. I mean, it will be the worst time to start a brick and mortar business. Yes, that will be the worst time because I was about to start one. And I know I was in the process of signing a lease when the whole deal started.
Wow.
So I will be completely broke right now if I had actually signed that. But I mean, but starting an e-commerce business, no, it's not. I mean, it depends what you sell. We're selling right now something that is an impulse product, and and there is a lot of bored people at home with an impulse, and there is a lot of drone buying right now too. And you can tell when you start hearing your phone at 11 at night, ding, 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 ding. It's a lot of drone buying going on because they are so bored at home that they're shopping, and there's nothing wrong about that. I mean, you're
Yeah.
sales.
It's given rise to many interesting new habits.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be political correct, saying that I am not going to profit out of that situation, well, then entrepreneurial life is not for you. Entrepreneurs, we're looking for solutions for problems. Right now, a lot of people cannot go to stores. They are going to online, and we are the people to supply that necessity. And even if it's an impulse or if it's a necessity, like right now, masks are a necessity. Do these masks help? No, they don't. They're useless. People think that by wearing that these masks are gonna not getting sick. Actually, the mask is not to protect you; it's to protect people around you. Because when you cough in the mask. You don't cough into the environment. When you sneeze, when you're talking, you're expelling saliva. So you are not really protecting yourself; you're protecting others. And but now you have a full room, everybody wearing masks, then the protection begins to happen, right? But that's why you have to be very careful, in your listing to say this is not a medical product, this is not a medical approved. You have to have legal disclosures. This is not to be used, for medical reasons. This is, and that's why a lot of people prefer to sell those gainers than the mask, because the gainer is more of a sports fashion statement product than it is actually a mask.
Right.
But yes, as Lenny said, online is a new normal. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? This year, online is going to be, a lot of people who were not used to buying online right now are learning that shopping online, it's so practical. That they are no longer, worrying about buying anything, anywhere else. You can see it right now, the boom of people in grocery stores buying online. And you go to the grocery store right now and you see all these people with shopping carts going around, and they're not shoppers, they're employees shopping for somebody else. And it's like, and you just realize how big the internet has grown this year. So yeah, it's the best time to start.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, Fernando, we are over an hour here. It's been a great chat. Lots of wisdom you have on this topic. And guys, if you are interested in learning more about print on demand, getting started with that, going into that world and diving in, Fernando has graciously provided us with an $80 discount coupon. So the link is in the description below, and also the coupon code as well. Make sure you use that when you check out. I'm seeing here. Yeah, Jojo's asking, how much money would you say is enough to start selling on Etsy?
It depends on your experience on writing in design. Let's assuming you know serial design, and you get that make merch deal, which is like $20, $25 a month, and that will be like $25, and then you will need. Etsy requires that you have a minimum of 50 listings to consider your store, and they like consistency. So
50.
50 listings to be considered a
50.
store.
Okay.
But I believe you have a link that they can get 40 free listings, right? You're giving that link for free.
Yeah.
So you use their link, you get 40 free listings. So you only have to pay for 10 more listings to have a real store. So that is 20 cents plus 10, $2. And probably some money for ads to test. To be honest, you can open a store with 40, $50.
That's pretty sweet. That's really cool. And you have everything you need to once you open up that store. There's a wealth of tools at your fingertips to be able to promote your listings and, you know, do what you need to get out there in the marketplace, because people need you right now. They want to buy from you. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Fernando. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And thank you guys all for joining us. Any last words, Fernando, that you want to say?
No, I appreciate it. I mean, thank you so much for being, asking questions. You have a great audience. I have 1-2 interviews where, like, literally, I'm talking to the mirror. People don't ask any questions. I can see hundreds of people watching and nobody asking questions. So thank you so much for everybody for being so involved and asking all these questions. They were great questions, to be honest. They got me talking, and I like to talk, but for another hour. But you guys got me, the right questions, and I really appreciate that. As I said, Etsy right now, it's hot. It's just getting better, and it will be a great way for you to learn, marketplace. A great way for you to make some money right now, with some, very easy to create products. And and you open a store, good luck. You get my course. I will see you in my Facebook group. If you don't, I hope this hour of was of good value to you. And thank you so much, Auret and Jewel, for having me here today. And hopefully we'll see you sometime soon.
Absolutely. Sounds great. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good evening, and bye for now.
Bye-bye.